a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
I'm Christina Kahn.
And I'm Leela Hilton.
And this is Burn Before Reading,
the podcast about literature.
We're here to examine the terrible writing we did when we were younger.
And talk about some other cringy literary topics.
Our guest today is Brooke.
Say hello to the listeners, Brooke.
Hello, listeners. I am thrilled to be back with you today.
Amazing.
Hell yeah. You may remember Brooke from our classic legendary episode, The Skin That I'm In. You might remember Brooke from The World is Made of Land and Water. You may remember Brooke from real life if you've met her in that plane of existence.
In which case, I apologize.
How the hell are you doing?
Yeah, good, eh? Just
good.
I'm sorry, that came out very weird.
No, I loved it.
Kind of Irish or
you're
Northern
weird,
British.
I loved it.
Yeah. No, I'm doing well. You know, work's good, kids good.
That's great.
Easy breezy.
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks.
Hell yeah.
The older I get, the more boring I get because by and large, my life goes pretty well at this point.
I love that. Yeah, I've noticed that too. That things seem to be just, it's like, how are you? And I'm like, exactly the same as when you asked 1 year ago the last time I saw you.
Yep. I did a lot of work. I set it up. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Nothing to report here.
All right. So, Brooke, what is cringing you out this week?
Oh, my response to this gonna top the list at least a little bit. So I work from home. And I like to take a little break to take a shower in the middle of the day. And it has happened a few times before, but this was the worst possible execution of like, I'll be like in the middle of the shower and like still responding on Slack. And someone Slacked me and was like, hey, I just spoke with HR. Could you just jump on this Zoom call real quick? It's super important. And I had to like turn the shower off, put my hair up so that it looked like I wasn't showering, put all my clothes back on and try to like sprint downstairs to my computer to look like a normal person.
That's stressful.
Yeah,
I've definitely been doing something urgent in the shower before, like something on the phone urgent on the shower. Wait, I'm saying something so stupid. You feel me. It's stressful.
Yeah.
But what happens if you're just like, can you give me 20 minutes?
20 minutes is a long fucking time for, hey.
Meeting was already happening.
Yeah, they like sent me a link to a live meeting. Hey, it's something I need to talk to you about right now. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, okay, but like I've got some things to do. Like,
you're right. If it's a live meeting, then that's not an option.
No. That's very funny and unfortunate.
Yeah. So that's my constant cringe. Of always being like, anytime someone Slacks me in the shower, I feel like they know that I'm naked, even though they probably don't.
Leela, what's cringing you out this week?
I would say, there's always so many things.
So many to choose from.
We have these chairs at one of my clinics that I visit and work at that are wheelie like office chairs, but they're really narrow, and I find them extremely offensive. Already because my hips and ass hang over the sides of them. And aside from that, I really like to sit crisscross applesauce or like sit on one of my legs. And it's like impossible to do so in this narrow ass Nazi chair. So aside from that, it's so wheelie that it's like, you know, when the wheels are like they're too ready to go.
Yeah, like they're too freeform. They're lubed up and they're ready to slide.
They're like, let's go.
It's like, do you remember in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation when he like oils up the sled and then like shoots off like a jet into the distance?
It is, yes. So like I was standing up because I do this when I'm like, really have to go to the bathroom, or like I really need water, or I need to do this or that. But then like 3 important messages come up on my Teams and I just need to like address them and do research. So end up like in this like weird crouching hunched standing mode for a while. And
Sure.
a parent came up to me and surprised me and said, like, hey, so is same time next week? You know, which is like, you know, the most horrifying thing you can say to a human, apparently, because then I panicked and screamed, oh, give me 1 sec. And then I tried to sit down and my chair just decided right then it was going to wheel away from me. And so I sat down on the ground in front of a parent and stood right back up so fast. And she was like, oh God, like it's, you know, I can just call about it later. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Just know I have it right here. Wait 1 second. And I was like, yep, same time next week. Thank you.
Wow. That's very funny. Very funny imagery.
Tina, what about you? What's cringing you out this week?
Okay. My beloved husband, Sean, for a long time, he's never worked from home except for like the first couple months of COVID. And even that, his company was like, you're welcome. But he's never worked from home. But he started working from home a couple weeks ago. His projects changed. And so he and I both work from home all day, every day. ... We are having sex at 2:00 in the afternoon. And we live alone and we're married and we own a house. So we were doing it loudly and with the door open because who's going to get traumatized? Our cats? No, our friend Freddie. I had my friend Courtney's laptop charger. She left it here and she said at like 10, I'll be over for it in an hour. She did not come over for it in an hour. She's one of those people to whom time has no meaning. I thought she would come over eventually. Also, Courtney, longtime best friend, lived together in college. She's walked in on me having sex a lot. I was like, if she comes in, she's going to be an adult. She's going to find the charger and leave, as is her duty as a friend. Yeah. But Freddie was not ready. So she sent her husband. I think I didn't say that they were married. She sent her husband instead. And he decided to arrive at my home right when Sean and I were having sex, walked right in the front door, because when my friends knock on the door, I say, why the fuck did you knock? And he walked in and Sean and I like finished having sex. I said, I don't remember how loudly I said this, but the door was open. I said, you have such a perfect dick. and then I just hear, oh, hey, I'm just here for the laptop charger. Because love him so much. He is a man, though, and he cannot see unless he is instructed to see. It was right there on a table, just sitting by itself. So so Sean and I were giggling. We're like, it's on the coffee table. And he was like, okay, thanks, I see it. I love you, bye.
I can't believe he walked in as you were finishing.
Like, there's no way.
That's crazy.
There's no way that was so silent he didn't hear anything. He's just a sweet friend. He's one of my only 3 friends that I would... one of my only 3 man friends that I would never, ever, ever fuck. With women, I'm a little more selective because I value those friendships.
Yeah.
Poor sweet child.
What did you bring us today, Brooke?
Oh, I hope you're prepared. I came ready to spill some piping hot 8th grade tea. I brought you...
Oh, we're ready.
My journal entry recap from after the 8th grade dance.
Oh my God.
And I'm just seeing something on the first line. I encourage you to read this the way it is written.
I'm going to try.
Okay. Start with the date, if you will.
Yeah. So this is from April 1st, 2005.
I'm so excited.
Dear Rose. That must be because my journal has a rose on it.
Her name is Rose.
The journal's name is Rose.
The journal's name is Rose.
Okay.
Dear Rose, the dance was disappointing. My outfit was so cute. Then I had Miss tell me my skirt was too short. On my way to the bathroom to lengthen it, Mrs. Adams told me the same thing. Wow. I finally got my skirt to their pleasing and couldn't move or breathe. And when I was dancing, my skirt went back to normal. I let it, and they didn't say anything about it. The next thing to happen was I didn't get to dance with Dan because the last slow song he danced with, I'm going to use initials here, E.H. How lame is it that I lost to his ex? He doesn't even know I wanted to dance with him. No one asked me to dance. It was awful. I looked good, though. My makeup was perfect, my outfit rocked, and my hair was great. They played too much rap music again.
Oh.
Regular dancing was fun. They almost made me wear my gym shorts. Black mesh with name of school, physical education stamped in white. Hot. With 2 T's. I wrote that. That's not edification. I did spell
She
hot with
wrote
2
with
T's,
2 T's.
but I also wrote the sentence with 2 T's. SW actually got a whole slow dance with Nick. ES was furious and horrified. She was in the bathroom when the song came on. Too much other drama in addition to this happened, as it usually does. And then I go into rating the various dance pairings.
Okay.
Okay dances. H and T, cute. K and A, G, cute. A and C, sub for AR because of grounding. Best couple, me and Rodney. Hope's imaginary invisible boyfriend. I will explain that later. And then I wrap this up with unrelated to dance. Today, HG bled all over her pants.
Oh my God.
We had Sarah tell her she had something on her butt, and she says, good for me, and walks away. The whole class knew, even the guys, and she's clueless. In conclusion, dance bad, date bad, what can you do? Bye. And I did sign all of my journal entries.
Oh, I see what's happening.
I signed all of my journal entries, and at the end was supposed to be a heart. Like, I, for a long time, tried to sign my name Brooke KM with a heart.
Okay, that is not a heart, but I'm proud of you for trying. Okay, this is so fucking funny. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can look at this hole. Brooke, tell us a little bit about your memory of this day outside of this journal entry.
So the outfit thing is really burned into my brain, actually, as like a core memory.
Okay.
Because I remember exactly the outfit. It was a black V-neck cap sleeve shirt and a jean skirt. But it was like a pretty like tight jean skirt that was... I went to a private school. We had a really strict dress code. And the skirt length dress code was that if you put your arms by your side, it had to extend past the tips of your fingers.
Fingertip length.
I think that was our rule as well.
Yeah. And this skirt just made it when I had not been moving or walking in it at all.
Oh, I have really long arms.
Yeah.
That went really far
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
It's not fair for tall people.
It's
yeah.
not. It very, very much disadvantages tall people and short legs. But so it was fine. I checked it before I left the house, and then I showed up at the dance, and because of movement, like literal movement,
skirts right up.
it just rode up.
Skirts
and
just right up.
I literally had a teacher, the teacher that I mentioned here, like pulled me off the dance floor to say that if I couldn't fix my skirt to be within dress code, I had to change or go home.
So fucking, I know that it's
Wow.
their job, but like how traumatizing for these teachers to be doing this to kids.
It's also just like, is that really the biggest thing that we're worried about right now?
Yeah, like literally, who cares?
They
And then
obviously were.
as I was like walking to the bathroom to take care of it, another teacher was like, "Hey, your skirt's too short," and I was like, "Yep, I know."
Now that's fucking annoying.
I know.
Now that's fucking annoying. How dare you tell me to do what I'm already doing?
And as I said, I really thought I looked like hot shit, and what I actually looked like was a 19-year-old. I was in 8th grade. I had very large boobs. I have always had a mature face. I really grew into my face. I looked angular and bizarre as a child. And I distinctly remember this because I came home and I remember telling all of this to my dad in the kitchen over like a bowl of ice cream. Like, no one danced with me, and I got dress coded and blah, blah, blah. And my dad was like, "Hey, look, guys are gonna like you when you're older." He's like, "Right now, you do not look like a young, cute girl." He's like, "That does not mean date older guys who recognize that." He was like, "But you don't look like young and cute. You don't necessarily look like your peers.
Stop saying I don't look cute, Dad.
You look old for your age." He's like, "At some point that's gonna catch up, and people are gonna be into you that are like your age, and it's just gonna be when you're a little older." And like that was a really comforting thing for me to hear, honestly, when I was that age, because I didn't look like anyone else really at my school. Like I looked like a 19-year-old in 8th grade, you know?
Yeah. Was your dad the kind of guy who distributed warm advice like that, or was that kind of like an unusual tidbit from him?
No, that was 100% normal.
I love that.
My dad has openly said the following things. One, that he absolutely loves that he had 2 girls, which is a thing that, like, people automatically
A lot
assume
of
he's
dads
mad about.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second is that every time he thought about the way that he was raising us, he thought, would I give the same advice if they were a boy? Like, especially around, like, dating, you know?
Yeah.
You know, because I would come down in, like, a short little jean skirt, and he's like, okay, if I had a son who brought this girl home as, like, a girlfriend or something like that, would I be like, nice, dude? Or would I be like, that's horrific? And he's like, if my kid was a dude, would I be bothered by this? And if the answer was no, he parented based on that, which I also
That's
really
great.
appreciate. My dad
I
was
love that.
actually a really stellar dad.
Hell yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I asked because my dad was not very good at those tidbits, and he said one thing to me that stuck with me forever, and it was that women paid a lot of good money to get hair the same color as my natural hair. And I was like, oh, Dad. And now it's been dyed for like 6 years, and I do not remember what it looks like.
So yeah, I do remember this. It was like really demoralizing as a child. My dad had to pump me back up. It was like a whole thing. And like I can go into like the mythology of this dance as well, because like I was firmly in the weird kid group, right?
Sure. We heard about that when
Yeah, the poetry.
the World episode.
So my friends had, and I only know this because it's written in journal entries prior to this, originally the theme of the dance was wacky tacky.
Oh my
Oh
God.
no, that's a
Middle
terrible,
school dances are fucking horrible.
Yeah.
That's a terrible dance theme.
And they called off the dance theme because people were upset about it and saying they weren't going to go if that was the dance theme. And
What?
so they called off the dance theme, and me and like a small group of friends apparently had committed to each other that we had like made like a blood pact that we were still going to dress wacky tacky. And they all pulled out of that like the
No.
day before the dance happened. And like, fortunately I found out and I wrote in my journal that like, we're not doing the wacky tacky thing anymore. So also I didn't have like part of the reason the outfit thing was so traumatizing, I didn't have anything to wear to this dance because up until like the day before, I was assuming we were doing a wacky tacky theme.
That's really nice that they literally told you, though. So was the dress code of this dance casual? Were other people wearing denim?
Yeah, it's more of like a homecoming dance than a prom. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Okay, but I wore a cocktail dress to my homecoming
No,
dance.
but back in the day though, like my mom said, like to homecoming dance, they used to go to that like after the football game, so they would just all be dressed in like jeans and like comfy clothes. Isn't that crazy?
weird.
Yeah.
That's not how we did.
We had 2 dances a year. One was like the semi-formal dance or the prom. And then the other one was considered like technically a dance social. And they would do like activities usually with it and stuff like that. And it was very normal to dress like more like what a 8th grader thought you would wear to the club. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. And I'm thinking one of my besties is a middle school teacher, and she loves chaperoning the dances because like the kids are all just like behaving well because they're having a good time, and they do look fresh, but like you're right, club fresh,
Right.
But when I was in school, I mean, when I was in middle school, we didn't get dances, but when I was in high school, all my dances were like dress to impress situations. So that's interesting, but. We only had a senior prom. You weren't allowed to go to prom unless you were a senior because our school was fucking gigantic. So at your small school, Brooke, was the whole school invited to prom?
We had junior, senior prom, but most people, it was small enough that most people would like just bring friends from lower grades and stuff. So it's like,
I feel you.
even if you like had a significant other, it wasn't uncommon to just like pull in other people from the school as your quote date.
I feel you.
But this is too young for that. This was 8th grade. So that was before prom was a concept. So we did have a second dance this year that was like our nicer dance.
Okay.
This was the cash
Cool.
dance.
Do you have a journal entry about that as well?
Almost certainly. I don't know how long I stuck to this journal. I've journaled off and on throughout my life, but it's usually been in periods where I needed therapy and this worked just fine.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Wow.
Like, you know.
I can see exactly where you are on your journey to becoming a good speller. we got disappointing with no N in it.
Yep.
There was a couple couldn't move or breathe. Breathe is spelled breath. That's pretty classic. A lot of adults still do that. What was the other one?
She does like the wrong 2.
Yeah.
In the last page. She said there was too much rap music, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, where the hell is it?
Surely, is horrified spelled right? Did I manage to get furious and horrified right?
Where's horror? Okay, furious and horrified. Yeah, those
Yeah.
are both right.
That's
So,
shocking.
Too much of the drama in addition to this happened. Usually, that's the one. It's USELY. Usually, and that's very cute. I love that.
It is cute.
Yep.
Also, imaginaries. Oh, that might be an I. I kind of thought it looked like an E.
Oh.
Oh, no, it doesn't have a dot on it.
Yeah, no.
I've had this lifelong weird habit of like not really dotting my I's, which does not help with reading comprehension. I don't know when that started.
Do you guys want to hear about the imaginary boyfriend sitch?
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
My friend Hope was like a very like cool and confident person. And like she would joke, she just like had no real interest in like dancing with boys at this given age. Like she would if asked, but like it was not a thing for her. And so she would think it was hilarious to like, because when we would do slow dances, everyone would like line up. Like girls on one side, boys on one side, arms extended both directions kind of deal.
What? Like fucking Pride and Prejudice and somebody like dances through the middle?
Yeah. Like, I mean, like no one would come through the middle, but it was like pretty.
Yeah, but like that.
Because we were at that age where like hanging out with your friends was more important than dating. I say with heavy exclamation points. Like we would just line up. So you were standing next to your friends, but also touching a boy because that was the ideal situation. And she would just kind of like pop onto the end and just like stick her arms up in the air as like a joke and sway back and forth and be like, oh, it's my imaginary boyfriend, Rodney. But when no one asked me to dance, I was like, haha, I'm doing it too. I'm stealing Rodney from Hope. And it was like,
oh my God,
it was not funny or cute when I did it. It was sad.
That is so,
it was so sad.
Tina Belcher.
It is so Tina. And then she gets to her own like mental image of how hot Rodney is. Like, it becomes too much. She's like, oh wow, you. Really
when I was
understand
in
me.
6th grade, a little younger than this, I had an imaginary boyfriend. One that I had a boyfriend that I lied about existing before, but I specifically maybe 7th grade. I also had an imaginary one. His name was Bob. And my friend Dorian and I thought that was very funny. We would blame a lot of things on Bob. And there is evidence of that in my collection of notes from back then. So I'll have to find that. Very funny. Very good way to make it not obvious that no boy wants you.
yeah, that's very non-obvious. So, Dan, in case you're wondering, that I wanted to dance with.
Yes. Tell me more about Dan.
So, I lost to his ex. His
E-H.
EH, she is like, she was an Instagram girly before Instagram girlies existed. Like,
okay.
She is like, when you think of an online influencer, that is what she looks like. Hold on, I can.
Blonde.
No, she, like brunette, but like, yeah, super hot, dumb as hell. And now like married a rich guy and lives in Florida.
Good for her.
Yeah. Honestly, I could have married for money and I didn't. I think about it all the time. Dan, on the other hand, ended up getting kicked out of the school for dealing drugs on the side. And
Dan.
He tried really hard for a really long time to launch his rap career post high school.
Okay, I do want to say they played too much rap music again. You didn't like rap in like 2004, 2005?
I didn't, I guess. I'm
the
trying
window to the wall?
Yeah, I was not there for the window to the wall. I think I was more in, I was really into like punk music at the time. And I thought that if I liked one, I couldn't like the other.
Classic Tales of Oldest Time.
But you know what I mean?
Two households, both alike in dignity.
But you know, I was definitely the kid being like, I wish they were playing Paramore instead. You know what I mean? Like that was, it was a very much like not like the other girls scenario.
God, our school dances were just really different because we played a lot of hip hop and rap, and all of my friends would also be in a line, but it was a grind line, and we would be windows to the walling really, really hard on each other's private parts.
In middle school?
Yes.
Yeah, grind lines came later. That was more of a high school experience for me.
Same.
I don't think we had a middle school dance though, so maybe
Middle school
maybe
dance,
it was
if it occurred, it was just like horribly
9th grade.
awkward.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'll have to ask anyone I went to high school with. Although most of my friends, super weird, had a lot of trouble in high school and have blocked out all of the memories. So it's just me and my brain trying to sort out what happened.
Some other things about my personality that I pick up from this. The fact that I'm saying I looked good, right? My makeup was perfect. I was very invested at the time. I'm going to have to see if I can find a picture of this somewhere. I had a signature double purple eyeshadow look that I did.
What do you mean double purple?
I did a like dark purple on the eyelid and then like a like bright purple to my eyebrow.
No.
Drag queen.
Every single day I wore this to school.
Whoa. Okay, you weren't allowed to wear short skirts, but you were allowed to have fucking hooker makeup?
Yeah, I mean, we were allowed to wear makeup. They weren't going to tell us it was bad. Like, but yeah, so
That's so funny.
I had like a signature double purple eyeshadow that I wore every single day.
Girl, that purple is too much.
And then
too much a part of your personality.
My outfit rocked. Okay, cool. We've discussed the outfit and its long-term
What
implications.
shirt were you wearing?
Yeah, I do. I want to revisit the outfit.
Yeah, so it was a black plunging V-neck t-shirt that was like a cap sleeve.
Why plunging?
What's that?
I'm just asking scientifically with your breast situation.
Oh.
Why a plunging V?
So actually it's because shirts that are made for 8th grade girls don't actually account for room for women's size breasts.
Oh my god, so you had to like rip the top open with a V-neck to accommodate?
Well, it was more that I had to wear women's clothing. Like I was like in 8th grade shopping at White House Black Market because it was the only thing cut for my body type. And
That's
so
horrifying.
It's like, it's more one of those things where it's like, now it would be pretty tasteful on me, probably. It would be like a little risky. I probably wouldn't wear it to work, but like, it would be like a nice, fun shirt. But like, as an 8th grader, it was more cleavage than I think anyone else at that entire dance had or was showing.
Just didn't know what to do with it.
You know who really doesn't like cleavage? Female teachers in general.
Yes. Hard agree.
But especially, I mean, in their defense, they're like, these are literal kids, and she looks so sexy, I don't know what to do.
The other thing that I notice is that, so they never send a male teacher to tell you your tits are out, right?
Sure.
And honestly, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But like, teachers are so much taller than you at this stage that they are looking down your shirt at all times. You know what I mean? Like, they're looking down at you.
Yeah.
Only slightly better than looking up your skirt, I guess. Looking down your boobs. Yeah, that's horrifying.
But the shirt wasn't a problem.
It was the skirt.
It was the skirt.
I never had a top problem. I only ever had bottom problems because this was the age of the Sophies.
Mm-hmm.
And as I just described, I've been this tall since I was like 12. And my hands go down far on my legs. I have long ass legs. I guess I have kind of a shortish torso. And I'm 32 and I have cellulite and I have learned to like a longer short than I did in 2005. But this is still much longer than I would wear today comfortably. Unless I'm going for like a Bermuda jort, which I do sometimes because it keeps my thighs separated.
I also think just like, hold on one second. I'm just taking off my
Adjusting
bra.
her boobs really hard.
I'm just taking off my
the
bra because
okay, there's just like a lot of things.
A lot of boob talk.
Ugh.
Boobs. This is the boob episode.
It's been on all day and I'm tired of it. I think that just in general, I've always kind of thought this. When it comes to women's parts that are commercialized and okay to talk about in like music, let's say, even, ass is more comfortable for people.
Yep.
Ass is
I think it's because everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Sure. People don't really like to talk about tits on women. Just even in like rap music, like you really don't get a lot of titty talk.
Except for the iconic Ludacris line, if you hold the head steady, I'm a milk the cow.
Which is, you know, I don't love that for myself. But I do love Megan Thee Stallion when she says, what'd she say? With your big titties, little waist.
Yep.
Which, you know, still like, you know, I don't have a little waist, but I'm happy for the big titties. I think that people are uncomfortable addressing tits, especially on children. So let's say the tits are the real problem, but I always remembered looking through the handbook at my high school, and there was never any specific rules about like cleavage must be less than a half inch or whatever the fuck. Do you know what I mean?
There was a rule in our dress code that cleavage couldn't be, quote, excessive.
Oh, okay. We
And
may
I
have that in mind.
That is super not fair because my old roommate Alexis has boobs, not quite as magnificent as yours, Brooke, but still extremely substantial. And she and I have shared so much clothing over the years, and stuff that looks extremely excessive on her is literally, you cannot tell if I literally have boobs under here just because of the way that shirts fall on women with breasts. It's so deeply unfair.
Well, and it ends
Yeah.
up being accentuated by trying to wear children's clothes that aren't meant to have boobs in them. Like clothes for
Baby doll
my
tees.
demographic were like wildly tight and inappropriate on me.
Well, and that was the era of the long tube shirt. Like I'm thinking about like all of Bella's thermal clothing in Twilight. Like the clothes were long and skinny.
Yeah. And the only time I ever got a detention in all of my time in school was because I got cited for excessive cleavage on too many occasions.
That's
such
fucking
bullshit.
horrifying.
Yeah.
And it's really this thing like, okay, like obviously you have to have a dress code or else people will children will take liberties. But I think that like it still comes down to adults
Yes.
sexualizing children's
Yes.
bodies and an adult being like, your boobs are a sexual problem. It's like, why are you looking at my boobs sexually?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it is their job to enforce the rules, but I just wish there was like a better solution.
Because
Same.
let's even imagine it's like more sensitive than that, right? Like it's Brooke, you're sitting in class trying to fucking learn in whatever row, and maybe some asshole dudes are just doing the classic like boob ball with you where they roll up a tiny piece of paper and take turns trying to throw it into your cleavage to get points.
Did
Wait,
that
no,
happen
wait,
to you
hold
guys?
on. We're not rolling over that. That is
What?
not a universal experience.
That never happened to you?
Okay. Good to
Nope.
know,
Okay.
Brooke.
Anyway, boob ball. So like in that sense, the teachers like there's some things they could do, right?
Mm-hmm.
The teacher could just say, I'm not comfortable with this, and call an administrator who will immediately cite me for being dressed inappropriately and embarrass me in front of all of my fellow students when I was just trying to take notes. Or maybe instead they could, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean,
Address
what
it
would
with
you
the
do as a
boys?
teacher?
In that instance, you absolutely make an example of those boys.
The
And you say,
boys.
hey,
That's
boys,
not
do you think
appropriate.
that girl's body belongs to you for your amusement? Because I am here to tell you that it actually has nothing to do with you. Do not fucking look at her body. Pay attention.
Please pay attention. You don't need
I
to
would-
look at her.
I've absolutely done that. That is not an instance where I feel like I wish there was a better solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one where boys were bullying you.
For reference, at this point, 8th grade, I was a triple D. By the time I got out of 8th grade, I would be an F cup.
Oh,
Brooke.
Brookie.
Yep.
Being a woman is body horror.
Yeah, it is. It's
It
fun.
is.
All the
It
time.
just is. I think that I have literally gotten like one of the easiest goes at it because I'm not planning on having children. I've been on the same birth control for like 20 years. It keeps my PMS very chill. My periods are like 2 days long and I don't have boobs. So like I think that I've gotten the best of it, and yet I've been in a bathroom holding a chalice of my own blood and tissue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just something that you just, and I think that's why men are so, and obviously we're using very gendered language right now. We're talking about, I think, a universal experience of being raised as a girl with a vagina that makes blood and boobs that go big.
Yeah.
It's body horror the whole time. Like you grow up and like we're coming up on, you're having kids, and a decade or so we'll be coming up on menopause, and it's like that's fucking horrifying too.
Yep.
I'd be talking to people's mom, like people our age's moms, and just in the middle of a conversation they just start desperately searching, but they're acting totally normal, and then they just start fanning themselves so
Yep.
hard, and I'm like, that's fucking horrifying.
Yep. To move this conversation into like more fun and funny direction, I would like to go over all the names that I drop in this latter half of like dance pairings and stuff, purely
Yeah.
because the Where Are They Now segment on this is fucking
Yes.
insane. So
Okay, let's do it.
you got to remember, I went to a like very bougie Southern private school. Like I am by far the underperformer, right? So we've got Sam, who is now a multi-award-winning construction manager, breaking down like barriers for women in large-scale construction management. Got a slow dance with Nick. He is now the CFO of a tech company out in California.
Okay.
ES is a Miss World winner.
Whoa.
Yep. Hope has her PhD and does clinical research.
Good for her.
Yeah. Tyler, who she danced with, another high-ranking tech product manager. We've got a Kay here. She got into Smith University and actually helps run a nonprofit that teaches girls rock music because she's an excellent drummer.
Whoa.
That's cool.
Yep. Danced with AG. They both later came out as gay. They bearded for each other for forever.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
good for them.
Yeah.
I've always dreamed of being a beard.
Yeah. I don't know as much about him, but I do know he moved to Chicago and had a good go of it. We've got an A and C pairing. C is now had a successful college basketball career. A is a top-level DEI consultant that goes to companies and teaches them DEI implementation.
Oh, wow. That's diversity and equity and inclusion.
Yep. She also speaks 3 languages: Mandarin, Spanish, and English.
Damn,
Wow.
I wanted to get Mandarin. It's so practical.
Right.
It is, yeah.
C in this instance, we note, was subbing in for AR because he was grounded. He ended up getting shipped off to military school and never recovered.
Wait, okay, so A and C were dancing, and C was subbing for AR because AR was grounded.
Yep.
Okay, so so A and AR were dating.
Dating, yes.
But AR was grounded, so he could not come to the dance. So A danced with C, but it was just for dancing that he was a substitute. Or was this like, you're my boyfriend tonight?
I think they kind of like, they danced most dances together because C was like
so
a very
fucking
like
funny.
safe person. You know what I mean?
The notion that I would like take just like a random guy instead of my husband somewhere and be like, it's good enough. Like I'll just take Jason instead.
We'll take the alternate.
I mean, that's like a very middle school thing of like, it was just like, like you'll do.
Yeah, better than nothing.
Like you'll do.
Well, my story of this exact instance is it must have been like my 9th grade dance or whatever, but I think I've even said this on the pod before, but I went with my boyfriend and all our friends, but my boyfriend, David, who was on for our Valentine's Day episode, he was so self-conscious that he would not dance with me, his girlfriend. So I was dancing with his best friend the whole time, and we were fucking grinding out there on the dance floor. And I know David was just watching and like being really mad about it, but hating himself too much to be able to go out there. And that was the first time I ever got physically horny.
Yep.
Because I was being grinded upon. That's dry humping, baby. And it was like the complete opposite of like a safe guy to something for your boyfriend. I was like, oh no, I'm horny for this other guy now.
I ended up making that mistake at my junior year prom, where I brought my boyfriend with me and he was disinterested in dancing and ended up grinding real hard on my ex-boyfriend. It caused a stir.
Oh my God.
My mom cried to me when I broke up with with that boyfriend. She told me that I was making the biggest mistake of my life and that like she thought that I was just running away from a good man to go have sex with my ex-boyfriend, which I was still a virgin. I was not having sex with anyone. Like,
oh my God,
that was
Mom.
really intense of your mom to say to you.
yeah, it was a wild one. I would later lose my virginity to my ex-boyfriend, but that was like very far down the line and then unrelated to this incident. Then anyhow, that's the end of the Who's Who segment. I just think that's like a wild list to go over of like all of these people.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Where I'm literally just like, these slow danced with the wrong person and now they're like doctors and like tech, entrepreneurs and Miss World winners and like all this crazy shit. So
God damn.
Here I am, a suburbanite.
Leela, do you have any final notes about this Dear Rose diary entry?
Yeah, you said you were going to tell us more about Rodney, the imaginary boyfriend that you stole from your friend Hope.
We covered Rodney.
That was when she
was
was
just
dancing
sad.
and pretending.
Oh,
Yep.
so there wasn't any. Okay, got it.
Do we want to wrap up on the body
that
horror
happened.
of the fact that I abruptly change at the end and talk about someone
Yes.
bleeding all over their pants?
Oh my God, talk about
Yeah.
body horror. Jesus Christ, I cannot believe that young women just have to go out into the world bleeding like this, and people in public just see it because it's so hard to figure out how to be having a period. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
HG in this instance was like Oh, I feel bad about this as an adult, but like she was like a very disliked individual. And like instead of handling it in any way, shape, or form, she just decided that she would be like defensively terrible to everyone.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I totally get it.
I get it. It was just like also one of those things where it's like, oh, it did not help her case. But she was wearing white pants, y'all. White pants.
I got the same ones from Delia's. Like I definitely.
Oh, Delia's, man, fuck me up with a. You remember they had like
jeans.
The jeans and also just like the table of like shirts with products on them that I apparently loved. Like, I'll have a Twister shirt on. Fuck it.
Yeah, totally. I had like one of those ones that had like a human skeleton, but like it was in rainbow with a little heart.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I had one I used to love that had like the card suits, you know, like a spade. But the diamond was like a gold sparkly like diamond. I wore that a lot. I loved that shirt from Delia's.
Wow.
But yeah, so this was just one of those things where my friend struck up the courage. My friend S, who is now actually a ski influencer who lives in Tahoe.
Ski influencer.
Mm-hmm.
So we had S tell her she had something on her butt.
Yeah.
Which is not fair. What you're supposed to say is, hey, sweetie, I think you might be bleeding through your pants.
I don't think we had like the maturity to handle that moment.
I know.
So what was happening?
But you have something on your butt. That's not what was happening.
So the crazy thing is like we were all outside. We were having a science class where our school property included like a creek area. And so for science, we would sometimes like walk down to the creek and take like water samples and stuff, you know, and then go look at them under a microscope or whatever.
That's very cool.
It was very cool. But so we had like been down at the creek. So we're all walking back up a trail in like a single file line. HG is near the front in white pants, having obviously blood through them. And everybody behind her is like, oh my God, do you see her? Blah, 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 blah. And like one of my friends in her infinite grace is just like, I have to go say something to her.
You have to.
And
that's
so
part of the sisterhood.
She walked up and she was like, hey, like, you've got something on your butt. Like, maybe you want to tie a sweatshirt or something. Like, it wasn't just that she said she had something on her butt. She recommended tying a sweatshirt around her pants.
I see.
And
I think anyone who has had their monthly bleedings would pick up on that hint.
And she literally, like, instead of being like, oh, this is like a moment of a human being kind to me, like defensively bitchy. Oh, well, good for me. And like starts walking away further in front of more people who all start talking about her as she walks into the front of the
really
line.
sad because, you know, that's a monster that was like created.
100%. And
so
like
sad.
Horrifying. That is like, that exists in a horror movie. You know what I mean? Where like that girl goes on to kill 7 people. You know what I mean?
That's how like Carrie begins.
Right.
Yes.
Like truly
So what
horrifying.
did you say? HG, what did you say she does now again?
Oh, her? I don't know. She's like the one that like no one offended on Facebook.
I feel you.
Her older sister was like super hot and popular, and she just got like all the off-cut genes in that family, man.
Oh my God. That's very funny. That reminds me of the Hemsworth brothers.
Yeah.
There's the one whose name you don't know.
Yep.
He's a famous actor too, guys. It's Luke.
It's Luke.
But yeah, it was just like one of those situations where I just think it's funny that I'm like giving you a whole dance recap, and then I'm like, oh, and then I simply must tell my diary that someone bled through their pants. Quick recap.
I love, in conclusion, dance bad, day bad. What can you do? Bye.
Yep. That's not uncommon for these diary entries. Like,
what can you do?
I often, yes. Like, there's one in here that I literally say, well, like the song on the radio that's currently playing, I've seen better days.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I love that.
I really look forward to investigating more of these diary entries with you.
Yeah.
All right, Brooke, I gotta know, do you think this piece is horny, sad, or just plain bad?
Oh, this comes off so horny to me. Like, exclude the body horror. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's literally me just being like, I'm salivating all over all of these scrawny teen boys and no one's touching me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I looked so hot and no one wanted
So
to dance.
Tina.
I forgot how scrawny they all were back then. And
So
Brooke, you
skinny.
and I were talking, I think, just a couple days ago about how hard it is to be attracted. I mean, for us personally, plenty of women out there are still into scrawny guys. But for us personally, we like a bit of more meat
A
on
robust
our bones.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want a dad bod. Don't want kids, but I do want that dad bod.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with these sentiments.
Leela, what do you think? Horny, sad, just plain bad?
I'm gonna say most. Oh, it's so hard. It is horny. It is very horny. It's like Tina Belcher horny.
It really is.
It's mostly horny, but I do also feel like it's a little bit sad as well.
Yeah,
there's some
it's-
moments.
It's horny for you and sad for whatever that
HG.
HG. Yeah.
Well, and maybe it's like a little sad for you,
With the
dancing
boyfriend with
the
Rodney.
invisible boyfriend.
I don't feel sad for me at all. Like, I know what I did to deserve this. I was horny starting in like 5th grade onwards in such a way that it made everyone around me uncomfortable. And like
That's so funny.
eventually the rest of my peers would catch up and I would go on to fuck a lot of people. But like not in high school, not in middle school. Like I had developed very early and I had a keen sense of sexuality that was shared by simply no one around me.
Hell yeah. Well, you know, I answered. Wait, did I? Horny,
No,
yeah, horny and sad.
horny, definitely horny. Yeah.
Horny and sad.
Horny and sad.
So horny and sad. Girlhood, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, Brooke, thank you so much for joining us for another delightful episode of Burn Before Reading. We love having your diary, and I really do look forward to exploring it further.
Thank you so much. I'm always happy to be here.
Oh my God.
That's it for Burn Before Reading.
Until next week, remember,
Your cringe is part of you.
but only a small part of you.
This podcast was created by me, Christina Kahn.
Hosted and produced by Christina Kahn and me, Leela Hilton.
Follow me online at Christina Kahn and buy my book, Indie Book Publishing, from start to finish.
After you bought Tina's book, follow me online at Leels for Reels.
Our theme music was produced by Sakura Wishes.
And our logo was designed by Michael Hardison. Follow Michael on Instagram at RoyGBiv or check out his work at wildlingpress.com.
Thanks for listening, friends.
See you next time.
Dave X Media.